Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Ohger Calibur from Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger, which is the brand new Sentai series, just debuted this past weekend. First episode was a lot of fun. Definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, so this is their main weapon slash transformation device, the Ohger Calibur. They each have the exact same sword, so all five of them have the same thing here. It's got kind of like a little bobble for each of them. This thing is basically a weaponized Bop-It. I mean, that's what it is. We'll get into it. But you got Kuwagata Ohger featured very prominently here on the left side of the box. The other four chilling down here. A bit of a side note. Are they also the King-Ohgers? I know the mecha is King-Ohger, and some people were saying, well, the mecha is King-Ohger, they're Ohsama Sentai, but they're called, you know, like Kuwagata Ohger, whatever their bug is, Ohger, so I don't know. If anyone can clear that up for me, please let me know in the comments below, because that's been stumping me for a minute. But anyway, packaging here, very, very cool. Of course, the sword is featured very prominently here on the front. Take a look up top. Again, we have our team over here on the side, and then it shows you each of the five little Bop-It mechanisms and which bug that they stand for. Down here on the bottom, just boasting the impressive 520 millimeters for the full size of the sword here. Let's see, over here, again, we just have the five pieces being shown off. And then over here, I think this is the five team members. It's going to be hard to show because this box is long and I can't fit it in the review station. I didn't even hit the camera with it, so that's how that goes. Anyway, here again are the five pieces. So we've got Tone Boy, Pop It On, Kuwagata, Hatchet, Come and Kick It. Yeah, that's what it says right here. So we'll see. I'm interested. We're going to see how this goes. Shows King-Ohger over here. Of course, they use this to form the mecha as well. You're going to need 3 AAA batteries, which I do have, but they are not included. You must provide them yourself. So I'm pretty excited for this one. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Here is the Ohger Calibur out of the packaging. Honestly, it's a pretty good size. I feel like I can actually hold it. The handle's not too small. My giant hand can actually hold it and feel pretty comfortable. I don't care for this little guard piece here. I kind of feel like that's unnecessary and a little cramped, but not too bad. Nice LEDs, 3 spots here in the blade. Got your colorful Bop-It pieces here front and center on the hilt. Spinning it around to the back, we have the speaker, the on and off switch right next to that. And then it's got the little like track in there so you can clip it onto the belt piece. That is sold separately. That does not come with this. That comes with the belt buckle. That's a separate release. We have the battery compartment here, 3 AAA batteries. And this is actually a screw. You're going to have to use a screwdriver on that one. It's not just a little plastic piece to depress down. These little pieces right here for when you want to connect it to the King's weapon. Another separate release. But overall, yeah, I think this is kind of cool. We'll go ahead and turn it on here. So it sounds like he says Ohger Calibur. At least that's what it sounds like to me, which is weird. But yeah, this is the Ohger Calibur. So if we hit the trigger button, get kind of a generic clanging sound, but it does alternate between the LED colors. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, that's all it does until you transform. So let's go ahead and initiate transformation sequence. Now, whichever one you pick first is the one that you're going to transform into, but you got to go through the Bop-It rotation no matter who you choose. So I'm just going to start with red. So then you just do what it tells you. So blue, yellow, pinkish purple, black, and then back around to red. So there you go. I am Kuwagata Ohger. If I hit the button now, it will stay red, which is pretty cool. So I guess we'll start with another one. We'll go to blue. So there you go. Now I am Tombo Ohger, the Dragonfly. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So like I said, you just whatever one you want to start with, then you go through the Bop It, but I'll let you in on a little secret. I did the wrong one. It doesn't care. So even though it tells you which color to do, it doesn't matter. The only one you have to get right is red at the end. So say, for example, like it'll show you whatever color you picked, but then it tells you yellow. If you mess up, it just keeps going. But when you get to the end, you have to choose red. Nothing else does anything. And then the other little secret is, if you really don't care for the Bop It feature, you can skip it. So if you just hit whatever color you want to be and then immediately hit red, it just bypasses that whole thing and just goes right into the transformation. So if you really don't care for the whole Bop It game, you can just go right past it. The next thing we can get into is the final attack. So you start by holding down the trigger. So it says Ohger Charge. You can see we get a really nice green LED. Now if you just hit the trigger again, it just like cancels out of it. So you hold it down. And then you just pick one of the 5. You have to do it 3 times. So then it does the Ohger finish. If you would pick one color and then try to switch to another one, it cancels it out. So say I start with blue. Hold on, let me do this again. So you can see I hit blue. Now if I hit black, it starts over at black. So you can see how you do one and it travels up the blade each time you do it. I think the sounds are slightly different depending on who you choose, but I'm not 100%. I honestly can't tell. They might be the same for everybody. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the attack sounds. So the last thing we can do is summon King-Ohger. So we hold the red one down. So that enters the mecha mode. Now, each one of these, as you hit it, will say the name of the large robotic bug. Hit the trigger. I really love this standby music. And the LEDs are pretty great. Then you just hit the trigger again. So there you go. You have summoned King-Ohger. This will take you immediately back to the normal mode, so you don't have to like hold the red thing back to go back to the normal mode. But if you want to go back into the King-Ohger mode. So as I showed previously, you know, whichever one you hit will summon him, but you don't even have to do anything. You can just hit the trigger. You don't have to do all 5. You don't have to do any order or anything like that. Hitting them is just for fun to get the name of the individual mech. Just hitting the trigger will summon, or I should say initiate, this standby music. So there you go. So that's pretty much it for this one. I think it's kind of neat that if you line this up with how it's depicted on the box, it's pretty much 1 for 1. So as big as it shows you it is on the box, that's pretty much actual size. It almost lines up 100% completely, which is kind of neat. It's cool. I like it. I don't think there's a ton of functionality here. There's no gimmick this year, so we kind of run into the same territory as the changer from Kira Major, which was the last time we didn't have a gimmick. And it's one of those things where it's neat. You play with it for 10 minutes. You've seen everything. You may never pick it up again. So it's going to be up to you. Your mileage will vary, but I think this is kind of fun. You know, a lot of people, I think the bop it thing, it's a very decisive thing. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. I'm actually kind of in the middle on it. I think it's nice that it's there if you want to play with it. If you want to skip it, you absolutely can. You don't really have to engage with it. You have to do, obviously, red to start off the transformations and whatnot. But you don't have to, you know, go through and do all 5 every time. If you want to skip right to the end, you just hit red, and that finishes it off for you. I think the LEDs look great. I think the music inside is a lot of fun. I love that standby music for when you're summoning King-Ohger. But I think this is going to get stale real fast. And a lot of people have kind of noticed the trend where you buy the DX at the beginning of the season, and then as soon as the season ends, they're announcing the Memorial Edition. And so people are thinking, why am I buying the DX version? It's a valid point. Honestly, if this is going to be a trend that's reliable, and you know that they're going to do this, I think this would be one you could probably wait on because there's no gimmick this year. I think if you have a season with a gimmick like Zenkaiger or Dawn Brothers, you want to play with that as the seasons happen. You want to collect all those gimmicks. You want to use them throughout the year. So that's something that you might not want to wait. Yes, maybe you'll get the Memorial Edition at the end, but this would be a really good one to wait for the Memorial Edition just because it doesn't do much. So you know the Memorial Edition is going to be a little bit larger, probably do everything that this one does, have a bunch of extra phrases from the show, from the characters, probably have some background music, probably the theme song all packed in. So if ever there was a candidate to wait for the Memorial Edition, I think this might be it, because when you don't have a gimmick, it's much easier to hold off on the changer for that season, if that makes sense. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comments below. I think there's still fun to be had here. I just don't think this is something you necessarily need immediately, because like I said, it's fun and I think it's neat, but it's going to get old pretty quick. There's no gimmick this year, so you're going to play with this for half an hour. It does everything that it does, and then you're going to get kind of bored with it, in my opinion. Not to say that this is bad, and I do appreciate how big it is. I think they actually did a nice job with that, and I've had some fun, you know, messing around with it and playing with the Bop It aspect of it, just because I'm a really big Bop It fan, if you guys know me at all. So that part of it's kind of fun. But I do think this is something that you're not going to be going back to this many times over the year like you do with something, with a season that has a gimmick. Whenever you get a new gimmick item, you got to go grab the Dawn Blaster. You got to go grab the Gear-to-Linger to use that new gimmick item. That's not going to happen this year. You're going to put this on the shelf. Maybe you pick it up once or twice to play with it, but that's going to be it. So if you want to wait for the Memorial Edition, I get it, because I'm sure it's going to happen. But at the same time, have they done one? I was going to say they did do a Memorial Edition for Kira Major. I was trying to think if they had done one for a season that didn't have a gimmick item, but they did. They did one for Kira Major. So yeah, I mean, if you need it right now, I think you'll have fun with it, but I think it'll wane. I think it'll end very quickly. So maybe this is a good one to wait for the Memorial Edition. Maybe it is. It's also going to depend on how much you want to spend, because this is significantly cheaper than Memorial Edition will be. So if you want to spend that extra money in a year, go for it. If you're content with this, then don't worry about that. I can't imagine the Memorial Edition is going to do much more. It's going to have some phrases and it's going to have some music. That's probably it, honestly. So if you don't really care about that stuff and you want to save some money, then go with this one. It's perfectly good. Anyway, you guys get it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.